What about it, YouTube? Okay, so I'm afraid that it's a WWE match. I'm afraid that what the Q-tards call optics, what they don't understand is they're part of that. They're part of a game theory. They're part of a voter trap. Okay, they're part of a controlled line of philosophy and looking towards a future, the Q future, right? But what they don't understand is that that's all just part of the WWE match. You know, it's no different than rooting for Hulk Hogan, okay? So if you're rooting for Q, then you're rooting for Q Hogan, okay? But this is how I'm starting to feel like the Jew World Order is moving forward, okay? I think that the battle that's going on between the J Street small hats and the neocons, or say the communists, right? So say Soros versus Adelson, okay? Adelson funds Trump, Soros funds Antifa. Okay, so I think that this battle is who will be butchered out first in the unveiling of this Jew World Order, okay? As everybody is being distracted by a wall and by whatever else that they're talking about and looking at, it's all just a distraction. Everything is a distraction right now. That's why I've done these videos of it's a choose your own world. I mean, anything you want to believe, you can go to your source. You can go to, you know, there's half a dozen channels with 100,000 views plus that are all pushing the same narrative, no matter what that narrative is, and it can be anything under the sun about right now. I mean, any belief you want to have. Again, I don't want to redo the video, but any belief you want to have, you can have it right now. And I think that's all meant on purpose. Again, it's all voter traps. It's all game theory. It's just keeping the public in a state of tense cohesion. Okay? The stuff that pops off is fake, but by keeping a level of tense cohesion, it helps sell the narrative that there's some kind of a real thing behind it. So it doesn't matter if it's at a small hat center. It doesn't matter if it's their synagogue. It doesn't matter. The stuff Trump was saying after that. When has anybody stood up for a Christian like that place? Remember the black guy from Somalia that went to Tennessee and shot up a bunch of Christians? Was there this big national outcry of this never again? This anti-Christianity will be stopped. This attack on Christian and Christian values and our brothers here will be stopped. That's what was said about the synagogue. It's disgusting. So what I'm saying is this WWE match between Adelson and Soros, okay, they're all small hats. They all work for the same. Okay, what unites the small hats is they reject Jesus. They're a cult that is institutionalized around rejecting Jesus. That is what they are. And so no matter what they're selling, that's their game. They're hustlers. So you've got one over here billionaire hustling this side, and you've got this other billionaire hustling this side. Both criminals upside down the other, but you can't touch them. Funding politics, you can't touch it. BDS runs through Congress. Not one nay vote in anti-BDS vote in the House. Total blatant violation of the First Amendment. I mean, we started the birth of this country with a boycott of the Boston Tea Party, right? So you want to talk about anti-American? You want to talk about anti-God-given rights of freedom of association? So this is blatant. This is the march forward, starting with Reagan. The Noahide laws have been signed off on. They're gathering the 70 nations now, signed off on the Noahide. The rabbis are announcing that they've got parts of the temple ready. They got the red heifer. They've got the sacrifice ready. They got the priesthood all whatever lined up. They got the Sanhedrin lined up. They got the temple shekels with Trump on them all lined up. They got the construction. They got maps already out that don't even show the Dome of the Rock anymore. It's got the temple there. They're just itching. They're just scratching. There's rabbis saying that the Messiah is already here and that we're any day now he's going to be announced. And it's pressing forward. It's on its way. And no one's watching it. And here it comes. And it's the Noahide laws. And guess who loses under the Noahide laws? Everybody. Heads they win, tails you lose. That's the WWE match going on. And so, Christians, you might want to get behind Trump because you will be guillotined last. Okay? Trump is the one who will ease you in. And in fact, if you want to be a lukewarm, phony Christian who will suffer for the heresy and just deluded nonsense going on in their heads, who somehow survive because they have become Judaized in their Christianity to a point where they look to the Jews as the chosen, as the ones to announce the new Messiah, as the ones that will tell them, they'll believe in some kind of odd way that this is Jesus. Okay? Because you will not be able to say that God manifests himself as Jesus. You will not be able to say that God appeared on earth as Jesus. God's unknowable, but God was prophesied to come and reveal himself. If you say that, if you deify Jesus, then that's going to be a no-no and you'll be beheaded. So if Soros, okay, so if Trump gets outed and we go back to some, communist type of a leftist, progressive, paving the way forward, then the Christians will die first. The bigots, the ones that believe in Jesus, the heretics that believe in Jesus. You'll be branded as an idol worshiper. You'll be beheaded first. And the faggots and the godless atheists will be killed last. The dumbass lefties. Okay? So, with Trump, right? When we go into the Jew world order with the Noahide laws, it'll be to the godless, the completely godless, and the faggots they'll be gone first. But don't worry, it's coming for everybody. It's coming for everybody. It's just it's the race to the guillotine in the WWE Jew world order right now. Y'all better start praying and getting on the right side of Jesus and realizing that it's not, it's you. You account for you. You will stand before God. There's not going to be any pope or any priest or bishop or prophet or anybody else standing there to advocate you except for Jesus. So you need to get a relationship with Jesus, so that when you stand before God, that you can be cleansed in his blood, that you can be right before, that you can be justified and allowed into God's kingdom as crappy of a person as you know you are, and as crappy as a person as I know I am. So, pray, folks. Pray that these devils will be bound. Pray John 8:42-44. I'll try to remember to put in the description a letter Pilate wrote to Caesar concerning the crucifixion of Jesus. It's so powerful. It's so powerful, and it explains everything so beautifully. To hear it out of Pilate's mouth is so beautiful. I think you should hear it. And my brother's saying today, like, oh, I'm ready, the world's gone to hell so much, let's just go through Armageddon, let's just go ahead and let these rabbis go ahead and I'm like, whoa, 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 don't tempt God. And always be trying to bind these devils. Always be standing against the rejectors of Jesus. They're all God's enemy and they're your enemy. And you've got to get that straight. Oh, they're real nice? Well, I don't see them working at McDonald's. I don't see them working on cars. I see them bragging and with their chutzpah about their noahide laws that are coming for me. And I'm not one bit happy about how it's happening and how nobody is calling them out correctly. How when it comes to the economy, nobody will talk about usury. And when it comes to the values of this country, nobody will stand up for Christians. We're standing up for synagogues. There's Christians dying in South Africa. There's Christians that are threatened all over the Middle East. No one ever talks about. So, Christians, wake up. Get that direct connection that you're going to need on that day with the Lord. Be prepared to do whatever. Know that God's plan is God's plan. God's time for you is God's time for you. And just work in that. You know, he who saves his life will lose it. And he who loses his life for Jesus will gain eternal life. So this world, you need to really come to terms at this point with how fast things are taking place. You know, I wish we could go back to the 1980s. I got a three-wheeler. I just invented a damn exhaust power valve that revolutionary. I mean, that thing has so much mid-range punch. It's like, just, that's what's in me still. I want to go rage out on some fun toys, but it feels like, almost like it's too late for fun. I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, I try to ignore the heaviness of it, but it's just hard to ignore the state of affairs. I mean, really, y'all, look into noahide laws. I'm going to put that thing, a Pilate, in the description. That's it. God bless y'all.